Supercharged Food. I have a website called superchargedfood.com. I'm a nutritionist, a whole food chef, and a yoga and meditation teacher. And I'm also the author of 9 best-selling books all around health and nutrition. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about gut health and why your gut is so important to your overall health and immunity. And I'm going to be sharing a presentation about gut health with you. And then after that, we are going to get ourselves into the kitchen and create a delicious recipe, which is super yummy. I think you guys are going to really like it. So just stay tuned, sit back and relax, and I'm going to do the presentation now. Today, we are going to learn all about how to supercharge our guts. Just a little bit about me to start with. So as I mentioned before, I've written 9 best-selling books. They're all cookbooks, and I love gut health. I am a holistic nutritionist, a whole food chef, and I work as a yoga and meditation teacher as well. So we all have a story of why we're here today, and really my little story, I would love to share it with you. And for me, I was working in the ABC, which is like the NBC or CNN. It was a TV network, and I was looking after my daughter, and I woke up one day and I literally could not get out of bed. I was really tired. I had lost a lot of weight, and I had mouth ulcers, and my hair was falling out. And I spent about 6 months trying to find out through the medical system what was wrong with me. And eventually I was diagnosed with a non-specific autoimmune disease, which has since been diagnosed as Crohn's disease, and something called fibromyalgia, which is an arthritic type condition where you feel really achy and stiff throughout your body. From there, I was put on a cocktail of different drugs from the doctors. I was put on steroids, immunosuppressants, anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, a lot of different drugs at the time, and they had a lot of side effects as well. And so I was trying to find a more natural way to balance a lot of the side effects. And so I started my website called superchargedfood.com so that I could share recipes that were really gut friendly and anti-inflammatory with my friends and family. And so the website really grew from there, and people were loving the recipes. And from there, that's where I started writing my books and getting really interested in health, and in particular gut health. So today we're here to talk about gut health, and the gut really does have a secret life. The gut and your immune system is inextricably linked. So if you think about it, 70 to 80% of your immune tissue, your immune cells are located right inside the gut. And the gut is your entry point to any pathogens that get into your body through the lining of your gut. So you want it to be nice and healthy and strong. The gut really is the epicenter to health. It's connected to your brain. It's connected, as I mentioned, to your immune system. It can really affect your mood, your weight, your hormones, the way you think, the way that you feel. And today, I'd love to share with you a few of those in-depth connections between the gut and the other systems and areas of your body. As I mentioned, the gut does actually affect your hormones as well, and it can help. Your gut and brain hormones can help regulate your weight. So if your gut bacteria is not balanced and it's not working properly, your gut, then you can put on weight without even, eating more excessively. And so it's definitely connected to your hormones as well. So in your gut, you have good and bad bacteria. And what you are aiming to do for a healthy gut is to get a good balance of the good and bad bacteria. Some of the things in your microbiome or your ecosystem in the middle of your gut that throw that bacteria out are things like smoking, alcohol, taking too many antibiotics, a lot of sugar, a lot of inflammatory foods. They can upset that balance of good and bad bacteria. And when that upset is balanced, then you can start to have problems. You might feel a bit tired after eating. You might find that you break out in a rash, after you've eaten something. You feel like you're having a few immune reactions. That's because your immune system is paramount to the health of your whole entire body. And your immune system, your second immune system, is actually located within your gut. There are a lot of other things that happen within your gut as well. your small intestine. Peptide hormones regulate your fullness after meals. So if you're unbalanced in your gut, it can affect you from feeling full. So you continue to eat and then you start putting on weight. And also other connections and conversions happen within the gut. The thyroid hormone T4 converts to T3, and 20% of that conversion actually happens within the flora of your large intestine as well. So the modern diet can really throw off that good and bad bacteria balance, and that's why it's so important to have a healthy balance of bacteria in the gut. And today I'm going to talk to you and show you exactly what to eat and things to do to really help that balance as well. The other thing is that 90% of your serotonin is manufactured in your gut. And as I mentioned before, it can really affect your mood and the way that you think and feel as well. Speaking of your brain and your gut, it is very connected. So the health of your digestive system can really affect your brain, your feelings, and your mood. You have a brain-gut axis, and that is it's kind of like if you imagine an information superhighway, and that is running from your brain all the way down towards your gut. And your gut actually sends more messages to your brain than your brain does to your gut. So what's really in charge of your thoughts and feelings is the state of health of your gut. And as I mentioned, the gut produces your serotonin, and that is your happy hormone. And the communication between your second brain and your actual brain happens by your nervous system, your hormones, and your immune system. So your gut immune system is paramount to having a really good nervous system and to having a good mood as well. Now, doctors and scientists are looking at treating inflammation in the gut, and they're looking at prescribing things called psychobiotics. And they're the kinds of things that can really help anxiety and depression, keep them under control. And so there's really great research and science around the gut and the brain and the vagus nerve connection and the gut-brain axis at the moment. What you can do in regards to what to eat and how to encourage that diversity and balance of good bacteria in the gut. There are so many different foods, and what I'd love to do a bit later on in the presentation is really talk you through some of those foods that are amazing to encourage that diversity. Last year I ran a summit on my website superchargedfood.com, and I interviewed 20 of the leading experts in gut health, scientists, researchers, people from all over the world. And they actually disagreed on a lot of things, but some of the three of the biggest things that they all agreed on was that the Mediterranean style diet was a really good kind of diet for everyone to take up. They also agreed that diversity was really important when it comes to good gut health. And by that, I mean eating all different foods. If you can imagine just eating the rainbow. So you're eating all different colors, the healthy fruits that you have there, some beautiful veggies, just think different colors, eating the rainbow, anything fresh. That is going to be really good to encourage diversity in the gut. And then the final thing that they all agreed on, all the gut experts agreed on, was that stress can be a really have a massive impact on your gut health, because stress can strip your body of that good bacteria that you need. So trying to encourage more practices where you're doing some breathing during the day, or some meditation, or some kind of spiritual practice is really helpful for stress. In turn, that is really going to help your gut health as well. Another area that is really important when it comes to the gut is sleeping. And I don't know how many of you are sleeping well, particularly at the moment. A lot of people are having trouble with their sleep. And the gut actually can really help you promote a more peaceful and healthy sleep. Because if you have an imbalance of bad flora or bad bacteria in your gut, it can increase your pain perception. So you may think that you're in more pain than you actually are. Especially if you're eating and you feel bloated after eating. You might feel even worse because your gut is not balanced. And also your gut controls and regulates hormones that helps you sleep. So your microbiome, the beautiful eco center in the middle of your gut, that helps you produce serotonin, which in turn helps you then produce dopamine, which is a hormone that helps you sleep, and it gets you into a good sleep pattern. If you do have your imbalance of flora in your gut, that can actually work badly alongside your own circadian rhythms, and it can influence and really disrupt them. So having that balance is also really important for your gut circadian rhythm and also your actual body circadian rhythms, because they work together. And then at night, your serotonin increases and signals your brain to produce melatonin. So that's a hormone that helps you stimulate sleep and your sleep cycle. So you want your gut health and to be nice and balanced. You want your gut to be working well in order for you to produce the kind of hormones that you need for really good sleep. If you do go to bed too late, it's important to actually try and go to bed around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because that's going to give your gut a really, really good rest until you wake up in the morning. And if you can, try and avoid more stimulating foods that are going to cause irritation. By that I mean things like coffee, chocolate, alcohol at night, especially for the Western population. They drink alcohol at night. That is going to really cause irritation within your gut. But coffee is a big one as well. And chocolate and foods, chili and spices, they can sometimes be irritating at night and keep you awake at night. So some people recommend having some apple cider vinegar before meals. That could be something that you have if you have any apple cider vinegar at home, or you can make spiced tea as well, and spices that are gentle on the gut. So some of the spices that are gentle on the gut are things like fenugreek, cumin. I don't know if you cook much with cumin. That's a really good one. Saffron is a nice one and nice and gentle. Cinnamon is quite gentle on the gut as well. So you can have some tea. If you do like drinking tea at night, you can have it with those kind of spices. The way that I like to look at the gut is like a multicultural, beautiful ecosystem. If you think of your gut as an Amazonian rainforest, there's trees, there's rivers, there's flora and fauna. It has its own ecosystem. So in a healthy gut, there are no walls or barriers. You just want to let that diversity flourish. So you want to be able to eat as many different foods and as many different kinds of foods as possible that you can get your hands on. Due to medical breakthroughs, we are living longer, but actually the quality of our life is suffering a lot more. Especially in the West, the microbiome can be the cause of increasing immuno-related conditions. And things like obesity, diabetes, asthma, allergies, they're really, really going up. And so what I do is encourage a lovely, if you can, more of a whole food, a fresh food, and a varied and colorful diet. So supercharged foods are the kinds of foods that you want to be leaning towards. If you do have really big problems with your gut, there is an approach that you can take to really start from scratch again. If you're getting a lot of bloating, if you're getting a lot of symptoms, your gut's not working properly at all, the way that you can do it is a 4-step process. The first stage is to take out any of those foods that are really irritating you. They could be healthy foods, like if you say, for example, if you're having coconut milk or you're having garlic and it's making you bloated. Those foods, take those out for a couple of weeks and just see if you feel better afterwards. Once you've done that, you're giving your gut immune system a rest from thinking about the different substances and foods and proteins that you're eating. Sometimes your immune system might go a bit haywire and it might see those as foreign invaders and start to attack them, and that's why you get allergies and that's why you get bloated after meals. And so having a rest from the foods, for me, it was things like MSG and a lot of the additives in the foods that were making my gut not work properly. And so identifying the foods that don't work for you is good. So that's phase 1. Then phase 2, you want to gently sort of cleanse and detox your body. And you can do that by doing a brush all over your body, like a dry body brush. You can do it through tongue scraping, which is a thing where you scrape your tongue. You can do it through Ayurvedic, so Indian style practices as well. There's oil pulling, which is a practice where you take coconut oil and you swish it around in your mouth, because your mouth is the first point of digestion and it's connected to your gut. So you want to clear it and detox your mouth. If you want any more information on that, I have a lot on my website, superchargedfood.com. Then phase 3, if your gut's really, really not working well at all, once you've rested the gut and then you sort of cleanse the gut by eating a bit of more of a clean diet, you want to be introducing a really healthy diet to repopulate your gut and get that good, healthy flora and healthy bacteria in good numbers again. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how to do that in a moment. And then the 4th phase is really introducing some kind of self-care practice. So you're looking after yourself, you're thinking about your mental health, you're doing maybe a bit of yoga or meditation, because that is really, really important to the state of health of your gut as well. So how to supercharge your gut? Well, it doesn't have to be really, really super difficult. You can do this just 2 days a week. Whatever the state of your gut is right now, you can supercharge it. Really all it is just about giving your gut a break from very hard to digest foods. You want to be able to repair the lining of your gut so then you can redigest foods again. And you want to get your inflammation down. That's what all of the doctors are saying. Gut inflammation is going to be the cause of a lot of problems. And so getting that inflammation down with certain kinds of anti-inflammatory foods are really going to help you. Things like turmeric are really good. I'm actually going to go through in a minute some of my favorite foods for gut health as well. So you want to be able to shift that balance of unhealthy microflora to a microbiome that can generate energy for your body. So once you start changing your diet just slightly, increasing the amount of anti-inflammatory foods and shifting the balance of that bad bacteria into good bacteria, you can really start to feel a lot more energized. You'll feel really healthy. You'll get up in the morning, you'll bound out of bed, you will feel a lot better. For some people, things like alcohol, gluten, dairy, sugar, and caffeine are very inflammatory to the body. So recommend staying away from those if you do have really bad gut issues. That's going to really help you for a period of time until you get your gut back to normal again. And then you don't want to have too many fats or high fat foods, deep fried foods as well, because that's going to slow down your digestion as well. So just a couple of days a week, so say a Monday and a Thursday, why don't you try this Supercharge Your Gut plan of eating? I'm going to talk you through it and what you have to do now. So maybe on a Monday after the weekend, you might want to start introducing some more lightly steamed, sauteed, stewed, or roasted veggies or roasted foods, because raw food is actually really, really hard on the gut. And raw food is very difficult to digest for people with sensitive guts or gut impairments. So just 2 days a week, try and cook everything. If you're having raw food, you can make it into, say, for example, like the beautiful smoothie we're making today. That's okay if it's pureed because it's pre-digested. You want to be including more kind of bone broth or vegetable broths to really heal and seal the lining of the gut. Fermented foods are good as well. I'm going to talk you through some of those in a moment, including more extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of coconut oil or flaxseed oil is good for the gut too. You want to increase the amount of fiber-rich foods and grains that you're eating as well. If you are gluten-free, you can include things like quinoa, buckwheat. Those kinds of grains are really good if you do have trouble. Rice is really good, brown rice. In particular, basmati, if you like basmati, a little bit of that as well is good. Omega-3 fatty acids are good. So if you do eat fish, salmon, if you can get your hands on fish, that's a good one to do. Avocados are also very good. Seeds and nuts have omega-3 fatty acids. That's going to help you with the inflammation. It doesn't only help you with heart disease and cardiovascular. It really, really helps with inflammation as well. You want to be having a different array of colorful fruits and vegetables in your diet, and soups and smoothies and things. Just think about things that are really easy to digest. So 2 days a week, just go on to a really easy to digest diet. And the day after, you will feel, your tummy won't feel bloated. You will feel so much better. Some of the things to sort of stay away from if you are wanting to supercharge your gut, and I think you guys already know these, but more sort of your processed foods, high in additives and preservatives, anything that's going to irritate or inflame the gut. Sometimes too much chili and spicy foods can do that. As I mentioned before, coffee can do that as well. Don't think that just eating salads is going to be healthy if you have a very sensitive gut. As I mentioned before, raw foods can be hard on the gut. Genetically modified foods, deep fried and fatty foods, and too many white starchy sort of pastas and crackers are going to feed those bad bacteria in the gut. So just have a think about some of those foods as well. So 2 days a week, don't worry about going on a juice cleanse or doing anything crazy. This is very simple and very balanced and moderated advice. 2 days a week, just get more into cooked foods or blended foods. It's going to really, really help you. Things that are juiced and mashed and slow cooked, high fiber veggies, good fats, and all of those kinds of things. So I've got some ingredients that I'd love to show you that are wonderful for gut health. The first one is turmeric. My gastroenterologist is actually prescribing turmeric to a lot of his patients now, and he is not an integrative doctor, he's an everyday specialist. And so the research has really caught up with turmeric, and it is the curcumin in it is very much a very anti-inflammatory style ingredient. So including it in your stews and your soups, you can make tea out of it. You can make your own ice cream. You can put it into smoothies. You can put it on, I love it on cauliflower. It's really good like that. So that's a really good one as well. Gelatin is an ingredient that you'll find also in bone broths and fish stocks and things like that. That is very good for healing the lining of the gut. Aloe vera is an ingredient that, I'm not sure if you guys have it over there, but you can buy it online, and it's very, very good for soothing the gut. So if you have any pain or burning sensations within your gut, aloe vera is a good ingredient. Slippery elm comes from the bark of the slippery elm tree, and that is an ingredient which is wonderful for the gut as well. And I have my own product called Love Your Gut Powder, which is actually a detoxer and cleanser for the gut. So it's going to sweep through your body. It's very gentle. It's a vegan food, and it cleans out all of the bad bacteria, heavy metals, parasites, fungus, those kinds of things from the gut. And you can find more information about that on my website, superchargedfood.com. So now just looking at repopulating with pre and probiotics. So what you want to do to really build that ecosystem, that Amazonian rainforest, is feed and create your healthy communities of good bacteria in your gut. So your good bacteria talks to your immune cells. They have a conversation together, and that's what keeps you nice and healthy. That's what keeps you regulating your hormones and improving your brain function. So some of the foods that are really, really good prebiotic rich foods, and these are, if you think about it, your probiotics are your good bacteria. They're like little babies with their mouths open. They want to be fed. So you want to feed them with prebiotic rich foods, because not all of your good bacteria stays alive for a long time. Some only last minutes in the gut, and the trick is to feed them with prebiotic rich foods and fibers. Things like dandelion greens, leeks and peas, any kind of root veggies. So your sweet potato, your pumpkin, onions and garlic, they're really good prebiotics for the gut. And then probiotic rich foods, they're your good bacteria. So things, I don't know if you guys eat that, but sauerkraut is really good. Kefir is really good. It's like a fermented milk that is good for repopulating the good bacteria in the gut. Kimchi is another one. There's recipes on my website for all of these things. So feel free to jump onto the website and find all of those recipes. So they're the kinds of foods that are going to really help you with repopulating your gut. I'd love to leave you with some tummy loving practical tips to help you out for gut health. As I mentioned before, going to bed between 9 and 10 is really going to help you promote healthy circadian rhythms, your gut rhythm and your natural circadian rhythm. Let them work together. If you're going to exercise, Going out in the morning is really good. You want to stimulate the brain and promote your positive mood for the whole day. Mindfulness is also really, really important. It's very much helpful, especially for digestion. So when you're eating, if you can sit down while you're eating and just think about what you're eating, how it tastes, what it feels like, how you're enjoying it, just being in the moment, appreciating the movement, the color, the way that it tastes, it's really, really going to help you. Essential oils are quite good as well. If you do like aromatherapy, that's really nice for balancing out your mood. Journaling has scientific research around it, proving that it can really help when it comes to mood and your emotions. So journaling is just writing down your thoughts in the morning. You wake up in the morning and you just scribble down your thoughts. You don't really even think about it. You don't pay attention to it too much. You're just writing whatever comes into your head, and that's really going to help you look after your emotions and your mood as well. And there are a couple of exercises that a lot of the doctors in America are using to stimulate that vagus nerve communication between your gut and your brain, which we were talking about before. One of those exercises is singing loudly. So if you like singing in the shower, that's a really good one to do. And gargling as well is another one. So I do have some recipes on my website. I just wanted to run you through a few of them. Things like scrambled eggs for breakfast are good. Shakshuka is a really nice recipe to have for breakfast. Smoothie bowls are good. Coconut yogurt or normal yogurt is good. And papaya is a fruit, and also pineapple are very, very good for the gut. At lunchtime, you know, a lot of those kind of the beautiful stews, the chowders, that picture here that I'm showing you, that's my prebiotic tray bake. So it's things like onion, there's asparagus in there, there's what else is in there? I've got some parsnips in there as well, some carrots in there too, some garlic and onion. They're really, really good. And I serve that, and I know that I've been to your country, so I absolutely love it. And you guys love tahini. So I serve that with a lovely tahini dressing with a little bit of garlic and some lemon and watered down slightly. And it's absolutely delicious. There's lots of Indian style recipes too. Masala cauliflower is good. Obviously using the things like turmeric and those spices that are really good for you. Speaking of turmeric, this is my chicken turmeric stock recipe. Very, very good for your gut health as well. And then using a slow cooker, if you do that, doing a big pot of veggies or meat if you eat meat, and doing it with a bone broth or a veggie broth is a really nice way to have get all your veggies in there and all your fiber in there, and very easy to digest as well. So here are a few of my books. Eat Yourself Beautiful is based on an anti-inflammatory diet. I have a Supercharged Food for Kids book as well. And if you're interested in intermittent fasting, I also have some book on intermittent fasting as well. I've got vegetarian books as well. And on the left there, that is my Love Your Gut powder, which you can find more about at superchargedfood.com. Hi guys, it's Lee from Supercharged Food. Today I'm going to be making a really super delicious mango and banana lassi recipe. I'm just going to do it in my blender. It's just a handful of ingredients and super easy to make. So some of the ingredients I'm using, I've got some mango, of course. I got frozen because we're kind of staying in at the moment. So I've got a lot of kind of fruit and things like that in my freezer at the moment. So I've got some banana as well. So mango, banana, and my favorite, vanilla, which I pretty much put into everything because it's just so yummy. Lassis, I think they stem from India, and traditionally they have sugar and milk in them as well. So I wanted to try and make a bit of a healthier version. I'm using oat milk instead of dairy milk for a little bit of a change, for a bit of a switch up. And oats are quite good for soothing the gut as well. So this is a nice gut-friendly recipe. So I'll just throw some milk in there. And I'm going to spice it up today with a tiny touch of cinnamon, which tastes really yummy. So a little bit of that going in, not too much. You don't want it to overpower. And to make it really lassi-ish, I'm going to be adding some yogurt. If you do have kefir, you could use kefir as well. I'm just using plain yogurt in there as well. And then all you do next is whiz it up. Pop the lid on and press go. One more. And it's really as simple as that. A beautiful mango and banana lassi. Look at that color.